Redmi has just launched its latest entry-level smartphone, the Redmi 13. This model marks a milestone for the Redmi number series, boasting a whopping 108 megapixel camera. But in this video, we won't be talking about its camera. Instead, we will test its gaming prowess. Mabuhay Manila, this is Kath, and this is our gaming review of the Redmi 13. Let's begin. First, let's talk a bit about the Redmi 13 before we test out its gaming performance. When it comes to its design, the Redmi 13 offers a wide option of color variants, and the one that we have is the pearl pink, which looks pretty clean. It has a clean and straightforward design, truly living up to its budget-friendly vibe. As for its display, the Redmi 13 boasts a 6.79-inch Full HD Plus display with a resolution of 1080 by 2460. It is paired with a 90Hz refresh rate with a peak brightness of 550 nits and is protected by a Corning Gorilla Glass 5. It runs on Android 14 paired with HyperOS. Now, under the hood, the Redmi 13 runs on a 12nm MediaTek Helio G91 Ultra paired with 8GB of RAM and 256GB of storage. We'll be flashing the benchmark results on screen now. With that out of the way, let's start testing out its gaming performance. Today, we will be testing out 5 games, and the first one on our list is League of Legends Wild Rift. By default, settings are set to quality with 30 FPS. Let's customize the settings to 90 frames, high graphics quality, and medium resolution. As for its gameplay, we get about 58 to 65 FPS while doing ARAM. There is no frame drop or stuttering throughout our gameplay. The device did feel warmer after a few games, but it did not affect our performance. So for the 90 frames, high graphics quality, and medium resolution, the Redmi 13 manages to run the League of Legends Wild Rift smoothly with no problems at all. Next is the Call of Duty Mobile. When it comes to settings, CODM doesn't have much to offer. Graphics quality can only go up to medium, and frame rate only offers high. With them paired together, the performance says that it delivers is smooth with no noticeable stutter. Although it did take a minute before the actual game boots up. Now, performance-wise, the gameplay was smooth with no problems at all. Moving forward to graphically demanding games, we have Genshin Impact. By default, the settings are set to lowest available settings with 30 FPS. Now, bumping it to the 60 and seeing how well it runs on the overworld. When doing exploration, the game is playable. It is not the best when it comes to the overall FPS, but it is playable. The downside is that in terms of overall graphics, the quality is not that great. When it comes to combat, the performance drops from bearable to pretty much unenjoyable because of the frame drops. So ideally, if you want to play Genshin Impact with this device, it is playable, but only if you are going to do dailies. But if your goal is to explore or clear out the abyss, then this is not the device for that activity. As for Wuthering Waves, after our installation and the downloading of the in-game resources, it took us a while before we could game because when the shaders were being compiled, the screen was flashing black. Now, once we get past that, we managed to launch the game. Unlike Genshin, this one offers lower FPS. It has more stutters and frame drops during our gameplay. There are also times when some assets take a while before it is fully rendered, resulting in paper-like graphics. Well, yeah, like I said, with Genshin, if you are going to play Wuthering Waves using this device just for dailies, then that's fine. But anything else besides that is not advisable. Lastly, we will be playing the Zenless Zone Zero. Default settings are set to low with 30 FPS. Now let's bump the FPS to 60 and see how well it runs. Jumping into different towns offers different performances. When in Lumina Square, the game has more frame drops and running around the square was laggy. Loading times are also longer than usual. Now, when it comes to games like Wuthering Waves and Zenless Zone Zero, we want a smooth and responsive performance so that we can time our parries perfectly. We can dodge perfectly and execute our combos perfectly, but unfortunately, the Redmi 13 did have a hard time running Zenless Zone Zero, especially in combat. Now, as for its battery and charging, the Redmi 13 is backed by a 5030 milliamperes of battery capacity, which is paired with 33 watts of wired charging. Our video loop test lasted about 11 hours and 35 minutes. In terms of charging the device from 0 to 100%, it took us about 1 hour and 15 minutes. Overall, the Redmi 13 can game, but it depends on what game you're going to play. If we are talking about esports titles like Mobile Legends, Wild Rift, and Call of Duty, the Redmi 13 can handle those with no problems at all. But graphically demanding games like Wuthering Waves and MiHoYo titles, it struggled to run them smoothly on a consistent level. Now, for the price of 7,999 pesos, the Redmi 13 is a good phone. Huge cameras, huge storage, and decent performance. However, if you are looking to play graphically demanding games, then I suggest to look for a device on a higher price tag to get the best experience. So that is our gaming review of the Redmi 13. What are your thoughts about its performance? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you will be notified with our future uploads. Also, don't forget to visit manilashakers.com and follow us on FBX and TikTok for more tech news, reviews, and comparisons of the latest devices. Once again, this is Kath and Mabuhay Manila.